Well, hi there, racing fans, and welcome to another edition of Winning Ways, where we had a pretty good Father's Day yesterday, some good racing, and we got lots of action going on. But nice that you got back from that Klavervlei piss-up in one piece, because that really is that's a bad place to be over the weekend.
Oh, fantastic. Really, again, they looked after us royally and regally. Well done to John Costa and his team. Great to get him down there. And just while we're talking about it, the figures were well up in the sale. 41%, 320 for a horse by 7th Rock out of a Galileo mare. And a lot of people turned up, a lot of the big names in the game, and it's getting bigger and better. So well done to Klavervlei. An excellent sale, James.
Well, excellent, but we got, as you can see, the World Cup, and those poor fish pommies got absolutely stoused by the eye ties. Again, the only thing that the eye ties never won was a war, but on the soccer field they got the pommies under control. And as a result of the World Cup, we thought we'd better bring in an expert. So we've got Budgie Byrne joining us today in your call. And my God, is that going to be fun, because he is the best World Cup analyst I've ever met. I'm going to be betting big time after he's finished. But sorry for you, English. Let's move on to 3 to follow. Well, we're going to have Wesley Bowman in to talk about Bloodstock South Africa sales. He's unfortunately cruising around some game farm over the weekend like most normal, sane people are. But we at Winning Ways work like terrible dogs. First of 3 to follow, we're going to the poly track, and we got a couple on the poly track. Great to see this track working so well, and certainly everyone was very, very bullish about it. Early days. We'll see what happens down the line. But let's go and pick up Wednesday, the 11th of June. Second race, maiden juvenile plate for fillies. And Mike de Kock stepped out, the Brazilian filly. She won well.
Yeah, the horse he stepped out is called Osteria, as you can see. And she's a Brazilian filly and just a little sluggish at the gate. So Dale Pesh is into and says, let's get a good position. She had found the support all day. And she was trying the surface, as were most of these horses. I think the bulk of them were having their first attempt at it. And looks a nice type in the making.
Yeah, they went pretty damn quick here. A couple of them off the bit. And this filly in the pink now goes out for a run. And it's interesting how they're riding this poly track. The second horse is in the blue on the outside, so it shows you they can go anywhere you like. And Osteria ended up winning a very gutsy race. She might go, but quite a lot more ground. I think he's a lucky guy, this guy that owns them.
Yeah, Eric Lovin, he had a Group 1 winner with Michael de Kock some years back, a good guy. Here the fillies in front, and One Var Dream, Paul Gadget's horse, showing great improvement, makes a race fit. But just here at the death, you see this horse, the Brazilian filly, start to stride away again, and I think a good future here, James.
Yes, very nice filly over a bit of ground. She could be one for one of those nice big races later on in the season, certainly go a bit of distance. But we stay with the poly track at Greyville, and we go to Friday night, and we go to race 1. Now, very interesting when you see these first timers come out on the poly track and win like this. This filly is beautifully bred. She's by Tappet, and I was very impressed with the way she won. Let's go and pick up Grey Light at the start. She's drawn towards the outside. Bernard Faderherb, I thought, gave her a cracking ride. Because she's all over the place. She doesn't really know what
she's slightly slow at the gate and easy to spot. Even though the race has 2 greys, she's the grey with the black cap. And Bernard just niggles her into the race, and she's learning all the time. This is a filly who I think, as James says, is going to progress quickly. She beats a horse called Olmo, who's a very nice horse that Frank Robinson had spoken to me about years back, months back, saying this is a very nice filly. She had debuted and run a decent race. She's in green and looked to be the horse to beat. But the horse we followed, it's not actually a black cap, it's sort of a burgundy cap, James.
Yeah, burgundy and white. She's on the outside of the 2 grey horses, and she comes round them. And I like the way this filly won. I think she's got great action on her. She really looks like a runner. And I think this filly could be very, very good.
Tappet's a very good stallion.
Yeah, and you just watch her come out here and attack Frank's filly. Look at her. She gets bowled there, taken out of the race. She's got 400 meters to run. She's first time on the race course, but watch the way this filly lengthens up.
Yeah, Olma sets sail for home with Fish Sturgeon and looks a winner here, but Bernard hasn't panicked, and he's driving out in the hands and giving her a light tap on the neck, and she quickens up to grab Olma, and even the runner-up runs a very good race. She's a nice filly, but this is a very good debut. Joey doesn't force them along, and Joey's putting together a good bunch of youngsters again, James.
Yeah, they've certainly got a lot of quality, and this filly has real quality on her side. I think this filly might end up being one of the better fillies around. I really like the look of her in the parade ring. She drifted like a barge in the betting, which I found surprising, because when she went down the best of the lot. And it really looks top class. Let's move on to Sunday, the 15th of June. And we've got Bernard Fade Herb here again. And this one we thought really maybe could have won if it had gone straight. Let's go and pick up the maiden fillies. 1,000 meters is drawn on the inside. Heartfelt, Garth Puller trains it. And there it is, drawn 3. She messed around a bit in the pens. Yeah, didn't come around away that well, but she always seems to have room where she is.
Yeah, he's let her settle down, and as we've noticed, the ground on the outside, which is to the left of your screen, has always been better. And Bernard's here, sitting here waiting, thinking, well, when do I get to move over? The horse has shown speed on his inside, dragging him along. The eventual winner's horse called Imperial Wish at 20-1 for Dennis Drive, beating between the sheets. But here, there's a gap here, but Bernard elects to wait. He wants to go to better ground outfield, James.
Well, if you think that it's better ground, if you look at the first 5 in this race, they were drawn 4, 5, 3, 2, 9. Sure. Okay, first 5 in the race, 4, 5, 3, 2, 9 at Clarewood down the straight. Here he switched it to the inside, and she runs on really nicely, this filly. No support for her in the betting. I think that you find next time she runs, she will be supported and she will win.
Heartfelt.
She looks like the right one to me. She really looked like one that you can be with down the line. We're going to go and have a look at Blast from the Past, and we'll bring you some very interesting racing as far as that's concerned.
Golden Horseshoe, Grade 1. Stand by. And away and racing from the 1,400 meter marker. One Cool Cat lost a few lengths as the starter said go, but Captain of All on the money and running. He's got the speed and he quickly goes to the head of affairs. Right there is Peter Culture. Chestnuts Rockets only a length off them. The white cap of Normans to the outer. Zambezi Torrent. Then comes Risky Roscoe, perfectly poised at the rail. Buffalo Bills mid-division. Forest Indigo Shadow Roll to the stand side. Hillbrow's got 5 lengths to make up. They're racing in tight quarters. Willow Magic's only 3.5 lengths off them. He's around Chestnuts Rocket. Further back is Bar, Kochka. They got 9-10 lengths to make up. In behind these runners, Copybook and Mikado. Top of the lane, Captain of All being held together in front. Peter Culture tracks him through. To the outside, Willow Magic. Norman's the white cap. Chestnuts Rocket, Risky Roscoe towards the inside. Zambezi Torrent. They fan across the track. Full Combat still got 6-7 lengths to make up. And Captain of All, the one to get to. Forest Indigo's running on. Willow Magic now looks to apply the pressure. But still, Captain of All's clear by 2. Forest Indigo looks to run on late on the outside. Forest Indigo, Captain of All. Kochka's absolutely flying between them. Very, very close. Forest Indigo. Off the inside, Kochka. Captain of All going to the post. It gets very, very...
Well, that's a taste of what's to come on July Day. We're a couple of weeks off the July, and the Golden Horseshoe is always a great, great race. And that was won by Forest Indigo. Alec Laird, Kevin Shea at his best. They got their revenge, the second guys. Kochka.
Over the mile.
Over the mile the next time. So, and there was a short hit in it the next
James,
time as well.
Willow Magic. That was fourth, another Group 1 winner. This was I think there were 5 Group 1 winners. Captain of all Group 1 winner.
He hung on till
Did Normans win a Group 1 the other day?
Who?
Normans.
Normans won the Golden Horse Casino.
So that's five Group 1 winners came out of this race. Not Group 1 horses, Group 1 winners. And good to see that there's some really good young horses about.
Yeah, it really was a very, very good race. And as we said...
Do you know what's just, excuse me interrupting, you know what's very interesting?
You better excuse yourself. I'm tired of you interrupting.
I know Forest Indigo had a setback. I know Kochka had a setback.
Yeah.
I know Captain of All had a setback. I know Willow Magic's had a setback. That is uncommon. 1, 2, 3, 4 in a Group 1. I spoke to Sean Terry, funny enough, about Willow Magic. He's very pleased. He's coming on nicely, aiming at the Queen's Plate. So I wonder where the others are.
Kochka apparently wrapped a tendon.
Yeah, that's on the way back.
Apparently there was a problem.
Captain of All, haven't heard much.
No, and I don't really know what happened to the winner, Forest Indigo, but he did run a couple of times in Johannesburg and just didn't look like he was quite right. Looked like he was a bit big.
He ran second to Louis the one day.
Yeah, second to Louis.
Louis the King.
Right. Well, we're going to move on and have a look at the plum of the week. And we picked this horse out because this was one of those days that is auspicious in racing. It's a day that changes the face of racing in KwaZulu-Natal. It was the first day on the poly track with official racing there, and the first race was won by a hot favourite. We liked it. We thought it was a good thing, and it won like a good thing. It showed what the poly track's all about. Let's go and have a look at the first race on the poly track.
To the 600-meter marker. Astroman's a length away, Stable Cat further back in the running. Homeward bound on the right-hand side, High Maintenance picks it up, the red cap. To be Nobles toward the inside, Dark Liability. The favourite Ilunga hooks to the middle of the course with about 3 lengths to make up. High Maintenance now 300 to go. Ilunga's now asked upon for an effort down the centre of the course. Down the inside to be Noble. High Maintenance the one to get to. Here comes Ilunga down the middle of the course. Looking flash now. And Ilunga strikes the front. Astroman's running on strong on the outside, but Ilunga goes down in history as the first winner on the poly in Natal. Second Astroman, High Maintenance to be Noble behind these.
Well, that will be saved in posterity forever because it was the first race ever on the poly track. Doug Campbell, Donovan Dillon, the apprentice, kicked the horse home, and you could have got 15 or 16 to 10, and it looked like a blinder on his first run.
It led a field of merry horses. I remember Guinness won the racing. That went on next race start to win the gold medallion. So that's a Group 1 winner. My horse, the Australian filly of mine, Flying Lutra, in second, and this horse was third, Ilunga. Yeah. And it led us all for a long way. So very fast horse. They rode it very cleverly here. I think Donovan Dillon and Doug Campbell got together and said, let's not tear away, let's feel away, and it won well.
Well, they felt their way on the poly track. It showed that you can put your head down with confidence, and I think that there's going to be lots of fun and lots of action to come. We're going to go and have a look at current affairs. We've got some very interesting racing. We're leading up to the July, and we'll find out exactly what the team thinks about the July. But while the July is being led up, nothing like the World Cup soccer. Our expert, Budgie Byrne, will be telling you in your call how you bet in the World Cup.
Do you want to get the best odds on horse racing and sporting events? For every bet requested, we review all the bookmakers and select the one with the best odds. As a result, you always get the best odds. Interbet offers tote betting, fixed odd multiples, and betting with your mobile phone. To get started, all you need to do is register by filling in your personal information. Log into your account and start wagering.
Right, welcome to Current Affairs. We had some racing around the country. We're going to show you, we're going to touch on a few interesting things. Michael de Cox and business again tomorrow. at Royal Ascot. And let's start off, James, with the Post Merchants. Was only horse race run on turf on Friday night, and it's always been an interesting sprint race.
I thought it was a very good race, and they ran the race on turf. The rest of the race meeting was on the poly, which was very successful. And I thought this was a very, very good win. I thought the jockey rode an exceptionally good race, Grant van Niekerk, from the front. He rode a good waiting race from the front. And this kid, I know Walter's always said that he's got some ability, this kid, but we think Walter's a bit senile, so we're a bit worried about the way he's going. But we're very, very happy with his advice and judgment as far as Grant van Niekerk's concerned after this race.
Yeah. No, Walter's our man. I couldn't open a bottle of wine at the Klavervlei, and I was struggling, battling to open it. Walter walked up, open. Walter's a master.
Open the bottle of wine. Did he give you the whole viviculture?
No, he didn't. He didn't go through the bouquet or anything like that.
He can tell you the whole thing.
Yeah, but
if you ask him, but you've got to ask him nicely.
Yeah, he was reading a book on green reading in Natal at the time, so it was nice to see
He's getting
Walter
ready for the Gold.
Getting ready for the Gold Day. But I do agree with you. This Van Niekerk's a very good young rider. Let's go and have a look at the Post Merchants.
Mr. Whatever, Happy Forever. A couple of runners taken up to the outside. Mike's Choice. Happy Forever. Something looks to have gone amiss there. Tebez is in behind runners. Kingston Boy in the pink to the inside, and Divine Jet. They're racing 5-6 lengths off the leaders. Miss October's around them. Varicate with 650 metres left to go. Show Me the Ways right there in the grey. All is Secret travels well to the inside. Regal Eagle. Eddie Sweat to the inside. Mr. Whatever. Pink Silks belongs to Kingston Boy. Divine Jets in the yellow. Tevez gets a little bit closer to the inside. Varicate at the 300 metre marker. All is Secret. Eddie Sweat. Tevez looks for a way through. Kingston Boy in the Pink Silks is now starting to come forward. Varicate's got the speed. She looks in front by a length and a half. Kingston Boys. Eddie Sweat's on the inside. Mr. Whatever. Kingston Boy's coming at Varicate the last 100. Varicate digs in deep. Kingston Boy. Varicate kept up the gallop. Kingston Boy second. Eddie Sweat and Tevez. Mr. Whatever behind these.
Yeah, Varicate, Justin Snaith, VAR, wonderful to see, and I agree, a very good rider, very dictating from the front and keeping them at bay.
Yeah, good luck to the Nelson Mahoney team. I think that Bill bred it, and
Jim's his big
cover, and he owns it. So what happened to Bill as far as the ownership was concerned?
I don't know.
Probably didn't want to spend a bob, He's a Scotsman, that Bill Nelson.
Yeah, so he's got a couple of quid.
Yeah, he's got a couple of quid, and he's a Newcastle supporter, which is very, very sad.
He's a full Geordie.
Yeah.
Full
Geordie. And
I wonder what he thought of the hat you put on earlier about. He would have been supporting England.
No, there's no doubt. He would have been going down the tubes. We can't support Scotland. No, they didn't get to the Premier League. Yeah. Okay, so we move on. We're going to Johannesburg. The Jubilee Handicap is always a race that is primed as the Johannesburg
pointer
to the Vodacom Durham July. Well, if this was the pointer to the Vodacom Durham July, then I don't know. I don't think any of them will get in. Cherry on the Top, I think, has got to get in because she won the Triple Crown. But really, let's go and have a look at it.
Let's go and have a look, yeah.
Let's go and have a look.
Deficit turns for home in third, then comes Chesalon. Cherry on the top and Talina race together. They 4 lengths off the leader with Brooks Club along the inside. Further back behind that one comes Mesa, Classic Illusion and Kalua Castle. They've got 500 metres left to go. Half the deficit has picked up the lead now. Leads by a length from National Key, Regal Stride. Kalua Castle is starting to improve with Mesa from the back end. Then comes Cherry on the top. Talina has got too much work to do from there. They've got 200 to go. Half the deficit leads. Kalua Castle is in the race now. Kalua Castle and half the deficit. Nothing to choose. Kalua Castle gets the upper hand, and Kalua Castle has beaten half the deficit. Cherry on the top, maybe third. Brooks Club and Mesa.
Well, there we go. Kalua Castle, the Australian import. Jeff Woodruff and what's his name? Osher is, James?
Yeah, Osher is.
A very good ride. And Stratham tried everything to keep half the deficit there for Sean Terry and Chris, but wasn't to be. Cherry
I love the way Stratham, when he sees one coming up, he moves over, just gives it the little come over and let me just give you a little intimidation.
Mark Roberts used to do that as well. Michael Mace used to love running up next to him and saying, now you've got to get past me. Yeah. Well done. And Kalua Castle, well done to Jeff. And It's the Jubilee Handicap. As you say, it's a point at the Vodacom Durban July. Cherry on Top had won that race, the Group 2 in Gauteng a couple of months back, I think, which would...
Do you think
probably
that
scare
any of these are live candidates for the July, or never mind, get into the July?
Well, Cherry on the Top will get in, won't
Yeah.
it? I think the others might battle to get in there. You know, because you get a smaller field this year. But every second day you get a fax coming through. Please note, scratched from the Vodacom Durban July. We've had very good horses pull out from Along Came Polly, Yorker, Dennis Dry's Flying Filly. They've opted Beach Beauty. And I got another one over the weekend. It's been taken out. And one of Justin Snaith's who fell, Jet Explorer, I think it was. Every week it's coming down. It's getting very, very interesting. With a small field of 16, it's going to be very, very interesting how it goes. So hard for me to predict, but I got a text from Bloomberg explaining why he thinks Crawford's horse has to get in. Futura has to get in. And his logic was there, was very true. Now with the scratchings, I think the boys who own Futura have got to be quite confident.
Well, they backed it from 14 to 1 to 7 to 1.
Back in again.
Plenty of support for the horse. And I don't know. I can't see how it can get in, but anyway.
Yeah, the logic that Robert Bloomberg gave me on the text was very, very accurate, and I think he might be right, especially dealing with the merit ratings and the performance. So it makes it interesting, but the panel have got to work it out.
Just a quick question while we're discussing it. Sarissa, can that get in?
Not in my book, no.
But that beat Hot Ticket.
So Hot Ticket?
I mean, beat Futura.
Well, you're nodding off a bit.
No, it beat Futura.
Yes, it did beat Futura. No,
so why shouldn't it get in?
Well, I think you're going to look at the records of the two horses, and there's the wild card thing that makes it open. That's what you've got to remember.
So it's all about, you've got to be a good poker player. You've got to
be a great poker player. That sums it up, James. They have the ability to bring in a horse or two. It makes it harder when you've got a smaller field, and every year it's contentious. I'd hate to have to pick this field, especially on a good year when every horse... Imagine horses didn't leave the country. Michael Cock didn't stream them out, and now these other horses leaving the country.
I think it would be easier to pick it.
You think so?
Yeah, much easier, yeah.
You've
got the good horses.
The lower
now there's a whole lot of sort of grey areas, and people arguing about whether this one's better than that one, but on the pure face value of the whole thing, Sarissa beats Futura. So it should get in front of Futura.
Yeah, they didn't win. If it had beaten in one, because the winner will get it. If it goes for, if Duncan Howes elects to go with the Cup trial winner, then it would get it. That's another pointer like this.
So there you are. You know, it just starts getting a bit grey.
But we're going to have there's always a big day of funfair when Gold Circle get everyone in and they announce the final field. It's great fun. That's coming up soon. The gallops are coming up. There's a lot to look forward to.
Oh yeah, no doubt. A lot of controversy to look forward to too. And we're going to be at the forefront of it, as we always are. Let's move on and go and have a look at the Betting World Stakes, which was the KwaZulu-Natal Derby. It's now called the Betting World Stakes. We'll talk about the next race later. Let's go and pick up probably, I think, the best stayer in South Africa by a long way at this stage. Let's go and see Hot Ticket.
Canterbury Tail and Kindle. Disco L carting them along, opened up by 2. Tribal Dawn second. Now a big gap of 6 lengths back to Skyrise. Hot Ticket, Blue Sleeves and Cap. No panic yet from Colnesius. Homeward bound Disco L. How much left in the tank? Because Tribal Dancer's quick to attack. 4 lengths away. Hot Ticket now starts to make progress. 400 meters to go. Tribal Dance the one to get to. Look at Hot Ticket. He looks full of running coming to the 300 meter marker. Tribal Dance, but Hot Ticket at this stage, you want to be on Hot Ticket, and 200 to go, and Hot Ticket now breezes on by. Go stand in the queue. Hot Ticket's 3 lengths clear. Tribal Dancers back second. Disco L, but Hot Ticket, he's certainly a Hot Ticket out here. He wins by 4. Tribal Dance second, then came Disco L, Canterbury Tail, Kindle. Skyrise further back in the running. Great rumpers.
Well, what a performance. I agree with James. This is a very good stayer. Bas Silvana, what a great stallion out of a sports wheel mare. Digterbay, the breeders, well done to them.
Yeah, we've got the breeder's nephew in the studio.
That's right.
Yeah, right here.
Brian Goodman.
Yeah.
He looks like you, James. We should.
Poor fish. The poor fish. He looks like me. That is a real sad situation. It's like me saying Lafferty's daughters look like him.
Yeah,
lucky they don't. Yeah.
Luckily they don't. You're right. But
anyway, this is a class act. This horse. This horse is very, very good. I remember him last year. This time running around in sort of merit-rated races. He didn't look particularly good. He came out in the Derby, and then he started to show. Dean's done a great job.
Dean Canham is a very good trainer. He knows he'll get them the Gold Cup and races like that are right up his alley. Right, let's move on to the Betting World Oaks. It's retained the name, even though it's for 3- and 4-year-olds. We're going to talk about it after.
And 5-year-olds.
And 5-year-olds.
And 6-year-olds if you want to put them in.
And 6-year-olds. James is just making sure we get through everything else. Let's have a look at, but you have to be female. That's one of the pointers. Let's go and have a look at this race because it's been won by the same horse 2 years in a row.
Ash Cloud second. Jetflow loses a bit of ground to the inside. Ella Bella's now getting closer. Educated Amatikaya. Star Jet Saphira is just off the bridle. As expected, Dylan's Promise makes a beeline for the stand side. Clears away by 2. Ash Cloud now comes out the pack to put on pressure. Ella Bella towards the inside. Zafira's got 4-5 lengths to make up. Dylan's Promise as they come to the 300. She's the one to overhaul. Ash Cloud's now putting in a big run alongside. There's a neck in it. Amatikaya. Dylan's Promise is digging down with 200 to go. And Dylan's Promise has a half a length on Ash Cloud, who's looking to drive home Amatikaya. But Dylan's Promise repelling all challengers out here. And Dylan's Promise not for the catching. Ash Cloud second. Shingwedzi ran on well. Starjet behind these and Amatikaya. Ella Bella.
Yeah, well done to the connections of Dylan's Promise, who's now won this race 2 years in a row because of the change of the conditions of the race. And James, you got to feel for the runner-up because it's only a 3-year-old, would have been a Dual Oaks winner as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure that this is the right way to go.
Yeah, me too.
I think that they want to call it the Betting World Fillies Stakes or whatever, that's fine. But Oaks, I am a traditionalist, and I really believe that the name Oaks was put there for a Fillies 3-year-old classic. Okay,
it's always been that, but you know, just to defend what they did do, I believe the Yorkshire Oaks is now open to. But I agree with you. I'm in the same camp as you.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I'm not sure that the Yorkshire Oaks should be called the Yorkshire Oaks too.
Yes.
Why don't they call it the Yorkshire Stakes?
Yeah.
But they're cribbing a name that was set up as a 3-year-old Fillies classic, the best 3-year-old staying classic in England. And everywhere in the world, people have called races Oakses that are 3-year-old races. And then you get some Muppets come along. Sorry,
but
I shouldn't have said that.
And
change the conditions of the
James,
race.
You're not the only one. I believe, and I stand to be corrected, that a couple of leading trainers commented on
television,
Sunday, television, that it should be for 3-year-olds. And I think it's got to be re-looked at. If you want to go out there and you buy a horse to win the Oaks and suddenly you're taking on horses that are older, it just takes away the value of buying a stable. It's not the Oaks. We've got to have a 3-year-old.
There's millions of names out there, as you know, because you're a linguist of note. You could call it anything. Yes. Why keep the name when you change the conditions of a race? It makes no sense to me.
It makes no sense at all.
And when you're doing awards at the end of the year and whatever, you're doing awards for Oaks winners and 3-year-olds and 4-year-olds and 5-year-olds, it's crazy.
Oaks has been a classic. Lord Derby is named after Lord Derby's house, the Oaks, and that's when they spun the coin with Banbury.
The Oaks named after a line of trees. That,
no, James. We've had this on TV before. You've got a short memory. The Lord Derby's house was called the Oaks,
to tell me
and his mate was called St. Ledger. He's a military man. We need Budgie here because I want someone with brains.
Okay, can we call it a day? Before we call
it a day, Royal Ascot, let's just make sure people are aware that we've got Shay running tomorrow. Goes in the King Stands. It was beaten last year, not beaten far. Takes on the same horse again. There are a couple of new horses, but on straight form, for my money, best form, Shay can win this.
There's been a very interesting video, okay, which has gone viral, okay, of something that happened after the race between the jockey and the girl that's the daughter of the trainer, Eddie Lynham's daughter and whatever. And it's very interesting to go and watch this video. It leaves a bit of a sour taste in our mouths, but hopefully Shay will come out tomorrow and absolutely.
There was in last year's race, there was a photo taken from the inside of the track, catching the winner, Soul. I forget his name, Soul Power, and in the background you can see the crowd, and there's everyone in their top hats and tails. There's myself and Michael Aboud right in the middle of this photo.
And what were you wearing? Your pajamas?
I had my full outfit on, James. Top hat and tail. So did Aboud. And we were there. I thought Shay had won.
Yeah, and we'd backed him too.
Yeah, I was starting to move through the crowd like a hot knife through butter to see this thing loom up on the outside. But keep an eye out. Soft falling rain also goes. What's this? I think it's the St. James Palace, is it?
Yeah, which is going to be a phenomenal race. It's a
Very hard
very
race.
difficult
Toronado.
race for him to win.
Yeah, difficult. I think Shay
So
for me
more-
looks the bet. I would definitely have a bet in Shay. And it's always a big day, the opening day at Royal Ascot.
Oh, it's going to be such fun, Royal Ascot, the next 4 days. So that should be fun. But the World Cup is the big news. And we're going to give you Budgie Byrne to tell you exactly how you bet in the World Cup. That's coming up in your call.
Just before we run to your call, just to let you know that the catalogues are out for the Durban sale. The Bloodstock South Africa got a very strong catalogue. Get a look at those catalogues for the Durban sale.
Suncoast sale, yeah. And we're going to have Wesley Bowman next week the studio talking to us about the sale.
Yeah, there we go. Let's have a chat with Budgie Byrne. Welcome to another edition of Your Call. As we had said, we're going to be talking to Alex Budgie Byrne, a guy who played pro football with me in my day, and a man who's been knowledgeable about all sports, but football being his passion. We brought him in to try and find out what he's thinking about this year's World Cup. It started, I thought, bring him in this week ahead of last week so we get an idea of what's going on. And don't forget that you can get on your Mobies and bet in running, and it can work out to be very, very good. Budge, thanks very much for coming in. We've seen the start of the tournament, and we've got these, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 groups of 4 teams, and about 4 or 5 of the groups have started playing. So I'm going to talk you through a few of them, and then we'll work towards your selections later. Let's look at Group 1. Brazil, Croatia. Now, it's something that's very important to the country that Brazil qualify at least to the next stage.
Yeah, they'll qualify. You know, they'll win the group since they beat Croatia.
Yeah.
I've just always had a doubt about defensively. You know, the goalkeeper is actually a QPR keeper.
Yeah.
He went on loan to Toronto.
Yeah.
No one in England wanted him as their goalkeeper.
Yeah.
So if he's going to win you the World Cup, I've got my doubts.
Yeah,
also, David Luiz. You know,
Yeah.
He can't get a game at Chelsea in the back four. And him and Thiago Silva are 2 centre-halves.
That's a worry.
Yeah.
You know, I did touch on the betting that you can bet during running. Imagine you're a fan and Croatia go 1 up. You get a nice, nice touch on Brazil.
Yeah, no doubt.
What reared its ugly head was the decision by the Japanese referee on the penalty. Bad decision.
Shocker. You know, only Valerio Cella said it was a penalty. Spoke to 30 people. You know, when I saw Fred, he backs in, miscontrols it, takes a tumble. Hometown decision, intimidated the official, and shocking decision.
Yeah.
That they scored the 3rd goal.
Just looking at the Croatian team while we're talking about them, is that they played well, but if you look at it, their striker, I think he was at Everton.
Jelavic.
Yeah, to me, not a great striker.
The problem they've got is Mandzukic plays for Bayern Munich. He was suspended.
When does he come back?
He's back for this week. So if he'd played against David Luiz and Thiago Silva, different game.
Different game, because Modric is a class act.
Yeah, well, Modric, other Rakitic in the midfield. They've got good players.
Good players. So that they could still fight.
No, they'll get through, I think.
The other 2 games in the group were Mexico and Cameroon, and Mexico won.
Mexico 1-0, one-way traffic, really.
They had goals disallowed that looked legit.
That's the only game that hasn't been over 2.5 goals. Unfortunately, I was on that game for more than 2.5 goals. Linesman gave 2 shockers, especially the second one.
What was the final score?
Ended up 1-0.
Ended up 1-0.
Every other game.
Wasn't there a game last night? No,
2-1.
you're right. 2-1. That's right. They scored to death.
Bosnia scored late.
Yeah. So Mexico. I see the boy who got the goals there had a turn in England.
Yes.
You know, so he's had a chance. And the Cameroon. Now everyone's saying one of these days an African side's got to come through. Cameroon.
Paul, they played this holding midfield, try and get a draw the first game, and it's only when they went 1-0 down, they brought Weber on.
Yeah.
And then they had a few chances to equalise, but overall it was all Mexico.
So they're not something to look forward to.
Well, they're going to have a go now in the next game.
So their next game, would that be Brazil or Croatia?
No.
So they play Croatia.
No, Brazil, Mexico.
Croatia
tomorrow.
lose their out, so it's critical. Cameroon lose their out.
Yeah.
If they draw, there's a faint squeak.
Yeah.
Because 3 points is a sort of faint
Well, you would
squeak.
think that Brazil will beat Mexico.
Would you?
Yeah. So that's Brazil through. They've got 6, Mexico's 3. Then it boils down to
Mexico
Mexico,
2
Croatia. And Mexico won. They won the first game.
And you get 3 for a win.
3
there.
points for
Okay,
a win,
got you. So they got 3, and the other 2 teams, one of them could go alongside Mexico.
Yeah. So it looks like Croatia, Mexico.
Let's stay with, okay, let's move on to Group B now that we've had them there, and a shock to a lot of people, a drubbing for Spain, the champions.
Well, the whole game changed on David Silva. He had to keep it a beat. I don't know what he tried to do. He tried to chip it over him and he missed.
Yeah.
And about 5 minutes later, long ball behind the back 4 and 1-1. In second half, it was one-way traffic.
The Dutch look good?
Yeah. Well, tactically, he played 3 defenders.
So isn't it, who's the coach?
That's our boy.
Yes,
Louis
your
van
boy.
Gaal, yeah.
I see you got the Man United
Well, we
shirt
got one
on.
result so far, that's all.
Yeah.
But, you know, it was just tactically you had them sewn up. You know, their back four's been shocking for ages, Spain. You know,
Yeah.
PK's been
Do you think
struggling
it's
all
age?
year. Well, I watched them against El Salvador in the warm-up game, and they played Javi Martinez, who plays for Bayern Munich. They played him alongside Sergio Ramos. The right back, Jan Fran, plays for Atletico Madrid. And they played the guy everybody wants to sign, Cocaine, in the midfield.
Cocaine.
Yeah, we should.
What a
was
great
Cocaine.
name, eh?
He's
Sheesh.
Colombian midfielder. But Cocaine, everyone United, everyone's been after him.
Yeah.
And they played him and Alonso with Iniesta and Pedro, and they look really good.
Yeah.
They played the last game, and they're back to this tap-tap, tick-a-tack, whatever you call it. And it looks good, but it goes nowhere.
Yeah.
And they're all over 30 now.
Yeah,
Most
that's
of the
right.
players.
Yeah, that's right. So their situation is now that they've got to
They've
play.
got to beat Chile. They beat Chile in the last World Cup here in the group stage to get through.
Chile, what are they like?
Well, I
Not
thought
bad.
it's just at the back. I've got a guy called Yara who plays for Nottingham Forest. He's a centre half, and the guy that plays for Cardiff, Medel, they played Australia, and they were shocking at the back.
Australia had chances to get back into that game.
Plenty. You know, it's just they just aren't good enough. They couldn't beat Bafana, so I don't think they're going to win any games in the World Cup.
Yeah, Bafana have struggled, haven't they? So Australia going home,
Yeah.
no doubt, because their next game is.
Well, it's Chile. Chile play Spain next,
So they got
obviously
Netherlands.
playing,
They got Netherlands. So they need at least a draw to have any flicker. Otherwise,
They're
Australia
getting
go home.
nothing. Not
They're
lucky
getting
to
nothing.
get a
So
goal,
the 2 to go through would be Spain and Netherlands, in your opinion?
Well, if you look at history, in the 1998 World Cup, Italy won it.
Yeah.
France won it. They went to the 2002 World Cup, eliminated in the first stage. The last tournament in Europe was in Germany. Italy won it. They came to South Africa, first stage, out. So Spain won it in
You
South
think
Africa.
history could repeat itself?
Well, could well
Can
do.
Spain go out?
Yeah.
They can. Eh?
Well, if it goes to
if
goal,
Chile beat them, they're gone.
well, if they draw, it goes to goal difference.
and they're 5-1 down.
They're 5-1 down.
They have to win.
They have to win. Yeah.
Good point. Very good point. Okay, then Group C. Now we've seen some results here. Let's see. Colombia.
Colombia are the best team in that group.
Are they?
Yeah, they were my fancy all along, but you know, Radamel Falcao, their captain, star forward, he got injured.
Yeah.
And you know, you can't afford to go into these tournaments without your best players.
Yeah.
They were impressive against Greece. Greece was a little bit unlucky. They had a lot of chances they didn't convert.
Yeah.
Whereas when Colombia
That's
got
when
the
you hit
chances,
the open goal, you hit the crossbar.
yeah, well, that was 2-0 at this time, so they would have made it 2-1.
Yeah.
But you know, Colombia are organised.
Are they?
Yeah,
They're
a
an
good
organised
team.
side.
They'll go far. The only problem they've got is if they win their group, they're seeded to meet Brazil in the quarterfinals, and they never beat Brazil.
Okay, what about the Ivory Coast and Japan?
Well, I only watched it the next day, and for an hour, you know, the Japs were all over them. Yeah, they had chances both sides. Then they brought Drogba on, and it just seemed to intimidate the Japs. And 2 good crosses, 2 good headers, and they won. So they've got a great chance to go through.
So Ivory Coast could go. They must have.
Well, they
to-
play Colombia next. If they get a draw out of that, then they're almost certainly through.
Okay, now we come to the group. Now, I really thought England would do well. Let's talk about England and Italy and not listen to Goodman waffling on with that hat on. How good did England look?
They look good on the ball.
Yes.
The problem is they've never been defensively organised. When I mean defensively, you close down from the front, Paul, and everybody seems to stand and watch.
Yeah.
Now everyone's slagging Rooney off.
Yeah.
Now you can't play Rooney on the left-hand side to close a fullback down.
Yeah, that's
He
not
plays
his game.
behind the centre forward. Now they played Sterling there. Now if Rooney can't play in that role, he mustn't play.
Yeah. Because he took a lot of flack in the
He's
press.
going to take flack. He's just won a 300 grand a week. He's entitled to take flack. He
Yeah.
had the chance late on to get them a draw and didn't hit the target.
Yeah.
But he's never scored in the World Cup for England.
Never?
He tries. No, never. He tries. You can't.
It was a great cross for the equaliser.
No, sure. But that's where you want him. You
Yeah.
don't want him closing down fullbacks.
Yeah, that's right. Going forward, he's still a great player. And they're playing a lot of those young guys, the Liverpool boys. How did they look?
They looked okay. But it's going forward.
Yeah.
You know, Italy, it's the highest percentage completion rate ever in a World Cup game. Italy against England. 96% of their passes went to an Italian foot. They gave the ball away 4% of the
They
time.
looked very organised at the back.
Well, they're the only team that goes to the World Cup to defend first and attack second.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's cost them in tournaments. And they've only really got Balotelli up front as a target man. I know they've got younger players going forward, but you know, I just think goals will stick the Italians out. And now with that victory, they're in the same quarter of the group as Holland. So if
Yeah.
they meet in the quarter-final, it'll be
You
a
have to
tight
beat
game.
them, though.
You've got to beat the Italians.
You've got to
of
beat
course.
the Italians because they are very, very organised. And so England can still go through.
No, they've got to beat them. They've got to beat Uruguay in the next game.
Now, let's talk about Uruguay. They had a player sent off
Yeah, in the last minute of the game, just
late.
a tabernacle tackle, as Eric Grimaldi would call it. It was the 95th minute, was in the corner flag, playing for time, and he just
Lost it.
Yeah, lost it.
So the Red Mist
So
settled
the game
down
was
there.
over by the time he got sent off.
How did Costa Rica look?
Well, they've got Arsenal, a youngster who was Olympiacos, a guy, Joel Campbell. And I watched him against Man United where they terrorised us.
Yeah.
And he looked Grease lightning. But he played great, took his chances well. But for them, it was a case of, well, let's give it a bash.
Yeah.
Now they've got 3 points. Jeez, it becomes a different ball game.
different
Now
ball
we
game.
can qualify, but they
But
look quick.
If they qualify with a draw now, that could get them through, having won 3-1.
Yeah, could well. But they've got England to play in their last game.
But if they draw with
Well, if they draw,
with
it'll go down the goal
If
goal
it goes to
difference.
0-0 with Italy, they've got a
They've got
chance.
4 points, and if it depends on England Uruguay. If England Uruguay ends in a draw, they've both got 1 point, and then Uruguay play Italy, and England play Costa Rica. Then England are going to have to beat them by 2 goals to go through.
Okay, can England go through?
Yeah,
I think so. I still
you know,
think
it's
they've got
just
a bit.
Uruguay. Maybe for what they did to Ghana in the last World Cup, they're getting punished. But
Yeah,
Suarez
true.
being out is definitely. Forlan doesn't look half the player he was here.
Yeah,
The
that's
back
true.
they don't
When
look
does
too
Suarez come back?
good. Well, he's supposedly training, but you know, you have a knee injury just to
Yeah, you
a
got
month later.
you got to worry about it. That's so very true. So Uruguay could be skating out of it quickly. Yeah, is Buffon or whatever it is having his 5th World Cup.
Buffon, he never played against England, yeah.
He's
Top
5th
goalkeeper. Yeah.
He's 5th, and there's some top team want to sign him, and he said 5 World Cups. That's a long time. Sure, must be okay. Let's move on to what happened yesterday. We've got Group E, France, and they went out and won. What did they win? 3-1.
They won 3-0.
3-0. They beat Honduras. That's
they
right.
look like the worst team in the tournament.
France.
Honduras.
Oh, Honduras. Oh, they're rubbish.
Rubbish. They had a player sent off for the first goal and then was one.
Oh, that's an ex-Spurs boy, wasn't it?
No.
What, he hit the guy in the
Palacios,
back.
yeah.
Palacios, you know, came to. I see there were a couple, Figueroa and
He
Palacios.
plays for Wigan. Yeah. Well,
That's
he was
right.
at, no, he's not Hull. He was at Wigan. He's not Hull.
Is he at Hull
But
now?
they've got no players, Honduras.
Yeah,
Nothing up front.
nothing up front. So they're going. So that means France,
Switzerland. Yeah.
France, Switzerland go through. Switzerland were very fortunate in the dying minutes. They
Well, the
nearly
referee was
conceded a
brilliant.
set.
I don't know if you watched the
Yes,
goal.
he allowed the tackle to play on. Where was he from? I don't know, but he was a very good ref. So France and Switzerland look like the
Yeah.
two to go through.
Well, the key
Are
is
France a good side?
Yeah, this thing at the back, they'll be dodgy. They've got Loris in goals, who's a good goalkeeper.
My boy.
Your boy, Debussy at right back, Newcastle, Everett left back. So they're a bit dodgy there. But
Yeah.
the rest of the team looks fine.
Yeah, the boy was unlucky not to get the hat trick, the striker, because it came back off the post, hit the
Yeah.
keeper, and it was called an own goal. That's a bit stiff. He's done all the shooting and everything. Okay, let's go to Group F, Budgie. We saw Argentina
Yeah.
beat Bosnia. What do they look like?
I just saw the highlights a bit, and I've got it taped. I'll watch it today.
Yeah,
They're always going to be good going forward.
Yeah.
You know, Higuain, you've got obviously
Messi scored. Yeah,
You know, superb goal.
Bosnia weren't that bad.
No.
They got their first goal in the tournament, and
Yeah.
the guy stuck it through the keeper's pins. So that leads us to today's games. We've got 3 games today, Budge. Now, Iran, Nigeria.
Well, we don't know much about Iran other than Carlos Queiroz, but they did finish top in the Asia group. Not that it's saying much of the groups in Asia, but we don't know. You know, Nigeria are organised.
Yeah.
For me, their goalkeeper's outstanding.
Yeah.
And then he plays in France. He's a good goalkeeper.
So they've got a chance.
They've got a chance, yeah.
So
they've got to beat Bosnia to go through, which won't be easier.
So we're just working on what we've discussed.
Yeah.
The first African team, Cameroon, will go out.
Definitely.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So that's one out.
Ivory Coast should go through.
Ivory Coast could go through, so put a
Yeah.
ring around them. I'm just going to, as we go through them.
Yeah.
The next one we come across is Nigeria.
Yeah, great chance to go through.
Great
but
chance.
they've got Bosnia to beat. Bosnia won't be easy to beat, but they are organised.
So Argentina should come up with 9 points in this group, and they'll qualify.
Yeah.
They're
They seeded. Every Shruti I've spoken to is back to Argentina. If you have a look at the draw, they'll play the second, they'll play either France or Switzerland, and you'd fancy them to beat either of them.
Yeah.
Then in the quarterfinal, Belgium should win their group.
Yeah.
Now the key is who runs second in the Germany, Portugal, Ghana group.
Yeah.
Because in the last 16, Belgium will play one of those two. If it's Belgium, Germany, or Belgium, Portugal, and the winner of that plays Argentina.
It gets very interesting after
Yeah.
But let's just finish the first round
Sure.
game. So we've got through those bunch. Let's look. There's only 2 more groups now.
Yeah.
We also get to see Germany play. Now, Germany play against?
Germany, Portugal today, 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock is a great game to watch. Germany versus Portugal. Your take on the game?
Very close, obviously. Depends on Ronaldo's fitness.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone was jumping up and down against Ireland, how well he looked. They played on a pitch on top of a pitch.
Okay.
So he turned once and you could see it. He wasn't a bit happy with the surface. But if he's right, they're obviously a threat, but they've never beat the Germans. They've played 3 times, the Germans have beaten them 3 times.
Germans are known for the organisation, the efficiency.
They've always got a good goalkeeper. They've got the best keeper in the tournament. At the back, everyone's got a doubt about Mertesacker and Hummels, but at least they're experienced.
Yeah.
The full-backs will have Lahm and Boateng and the goalkeeper Nawa. So they will have the best back 5 in the tournament.
Yeah.
You know, going forward, my only concern with Germany is they've got 1 forward, they've got Closer.
Yeah.
He's one
scored a
behind
few
the
goals.
record. Yeah, he's 1 behind the record. But if he goes down, who plays centre forward? I know they've got Thomas Muller and Schuh. They've got a few players.
Yeah.
But
is the boy for Bayern Munich playing? There was a German striker.
Muller.
Lopez, no, what's his name? Or
No,
Gomez?
Podolski's playing. Gomez is not in the team now.
Not
They've
in the
got
team.
Podolski. They've got more Arsenal players in the team than England have.
Is that right?
Yeah.
All right. So that leaves Ghana, USA. Now, this next.
Well, Ghana have never lost to the Americans. I know they knocked them out the last World Cup in extra time. Good team, Ghana.
Yeah, so the Americans, they're no slouches.
Well, they've got Klinsmann and they've obviously got a few players. It's just a sad draw for both of those 2 teams to be in with Germany and Portugal.
Can Portugal fluff their lines?
They could do. They've been close the last few years. The last World Cup here, Spain beat them 1-0.
Yeah.
And in the 2012 European Championship, Spain beat them on penalties.
Yeah. So they're a good side.
They're a good side. And if Ronaldo's fit, they're going to be a threat.
Yeah. Okay, that leaves the last group. And now a lot of people's roughies have been Belgium because we've seen the players from Belgium doing so well in the Premier League.
Well,
Now, Belgium have got Algeria, Russia, and the Korean Republic.
You know, they've got to go through.
They've got to go through.
There's more than half the squad play in England. They've got
More
12
than
of the 23 teams in England. Belong to
23
England
players.
clubs, yeah.
Okay. Who do they play first? They got Russia, Korea Republic, or
I think they
Algeria?
play Algeria tomorrow.
Algeria. So Algeria, not a bad side.
They've done okay. They've got 2 players that play in the league. The rest of them play in Europe.
Is that right?
So, but you've got to fancy Belgium. You know, the second best keeper in the world for me, Courtois.
Yeah.
He was Chelsea's
Will
reserve keeper.
Hazard be playing?
Definitely.
Who would play in the middle with him? With my Spurs boy, is he
No.
there? Dembele there?
Well, Dembele's there. They've been playing Witzel and then one of Dembele, Fellaini. They've got De Bruyne. No, they stacked. They've got plenty of good players, you know.
So they, and then Russia. They're not an easy side to walk past.
You know, I've watched them. I don't know, Paul. They're the only team that's got every one of their players playing Russia.
I didn't know that. Eh?
Yeah.
And the Korean Republic, everyone playing Korea?
No. Well, we've still got Yisung Park, you know, the Man United.
Oh,
They've still got a few players, but they've had
He
their
eats
time. I
Labrador,
think.
eh? That's
He eats dogs, yeah.
Yeah, that's what they sing about him. Korea, not a bad side.
No, not a bad team.
So
So
again,
they'll be playing for second, yeah.
yeah, there's been a few surprises for me so far.
Yeah.
And there's going to be a few more. Some teams are under the caution. When they finish round 1, they go straight into the second round.
Yeah.
So there's no delay. Okay, Budge, we've now determined who we think is going to go through. I'm just going to recap for those of you watching. You're going Brazil 1, Croatia 2.
Brazil and Croatia, yeah.
Okay, the next group we're going.
Well, I've got
Netherlands 1
and Spain. Yeah,
Spain
Spain
2.
a great stat, Paul. Since 1998, since that when it was 32 teams, we increased it. 45 nations have lost the first game.
Yeah.
Only 4 nations have progressed to the second round.
Is that right? Eh?
Yeah, and Spain were the one last year in 2010. The others have been Turkeys and those type of things.
Yeah.
Whereas 82% of teams that win their first game progress to the knockout stages.
Sure.
So the stats are against Spain. I just think they'll beat Chile. I really do. I'm not impressed with that back four. And he's got to change it. Otherwise, when he gets back to Spain, he won't have a job. Yeah.
He's done well. He's got
Sure.
all the records.
He's
They're
got all the
on his wall.
records.
Yeah, Del Bosque.
But, you know,
whatever it is.
people have got short
memories in football. Whoa. Okay, so we've sorted out Group B.
Yeah.
Group C, who are we going through? Colombia in?
It'll be Colombia and Ivory Coast.
Okay. Group D will
It'll
be
be-
Italy in.
I think it'll be Italy, England. I hope
Okay.
it's England. You know.
So do I. So do I. We know the players. Yeah, Group E.
Well,
France,
France,
Switzerland,
As
we're
I
going
say,
with
the
them.
trick is who wins the group.
Yeah.
Because the loser plays Argentina in the knockout stage.
Ooh, that's a hell of one. So we got Argentina to go through with.
I think it'll
Nigeria.
be Argentina, and I think it'll be Bosnia, what I've seen.
You've seen, okay, so ahead of Nigeria, okay?
Yeah.
And then we're going to go Germany and
Well, it's
Ghana,
gotta
or
be-
Germany,
It's
Portugal?
got to be Germany, Portugal.
Okay,
yeah.
and then the last group we're going Belgium
Well,
and...
it could be, it'll more than likely be Russia, but
Okay, so now we've got those troops. Let's get an opinion of who we should back to win the tournament. Which teams
I haven't
can
had a back bet yet. What I did say to all the boys is I would back Germany for the simple reason that I don't look at the positives, I look at the negatives.
Yeah,
Who's got a good goalkeeper in the tournament?
yeah.
Brazil? No. Argentina? No.
No, yeah.
Colombia? No.
No.
Of your South American teams. Then you start going into the Italy, obviously, yes. You know,
Yeah.
Germany, I just think that they've been close so long. They're players, most of them are Bayern Munich players. They got knocked out by Real Madrid in April. They've had a longer time to prepare than most teams.
Yeah.
And I think they'll be hungry.
Yeah.
I know no European team has won in the Americas, but the last 5 World Cups, the runners-up have been Europeans.
European teams, yeah. So, okay, if we go for Germany for one.
Germany would be one.
Who would they beat in the final? Who would they meet? Can
I
Brazil
think-
go through? Can
Well, if
Argentina?
Germany win their group, they're in the same part of the draw as Brazil.
Oh, so they both can't be in the
They
final.
both can't be in the final
That's
unless
interesting.
Germany runs second, and they've got to go through Belgium, Argentina, and that group. Then they've got not impossible, but a much more difficult task.
And what about, okay, if they do lock horns, you're still sticking with Germany, who could they meet in the final?
Well, it
Argentina?
looks like Argentina, just as the draws have gone, if you go according to what we've seen so far, it should be Brazil versus Colombia in the one quarter final. It should be France against Germany and the others. Now, the winners of those two meet on the one side of the draw. On the other side of the draw, it should be Italy against Holland.
Yeah, great game.
Great game. I think it'll be a negative game because
Yeah.
both teams won't want to get beat.
Yes.
So then you've got Van Persie and Robin against Balotelli and
Yeah.
who else. And then the other side, it could be Belgium, Portugal against Argentina and the other. So Argentina have got it easy till the quarterfinals.
Till the quarter. So you're going to go Germany, Argentina.
Well, that could be the final. It was the last final in Mexico in '86.
That's right. That's right.
Maradona at his best. So.
Yeah. That nasty little 5-footer.
Hand of God, yeah.
Yeah, hand of God. That's right. So, and then, so people who look out there looking to have a bet will bet the likes of Belgium to go through to a certain
sure.
stage. You'll bet the likes of hopefully England to get back into
Yeah.
scrum, and I'm trying to think which other team might upset the apple cart. But I always thought maybe an African team could come through. Looking at the log, Ghana's under pressure.
Ghana, shame. Last time they were great.
Yeah.
They should have got to the semis last time. It didn't happen. They're in the worst group of the lot,
Yeah.
I think. And
Yeah.
people have mentioned the Chile-Holland group. I think this is the toughest group.
So Ivory Coast.
Should get through.
Should
if
get
they
through.
get through that, they'll play either Italy or Italy will win the group. So depends. If they win the group, they'll play second, either England or Uruguay or Costa Rica if they get through.
So but football has become a very, very tough game now. Let's wrap this up and say that any team apart from Honduras have shown the ability to win. So once you qualified and there's 16 teams left, it's still very tough.
Oh, no doubt. What happens is everybody tries to win the group games.
Yes.
Then once it goes into the knockout stages, no one wants to get beat.
Yeah,
And then
that's
people
right.
start playing two defensive midfield players and changing the formation
Yes.
just so they don't concede the first goal.
Yeah, it's that desperate.
No, it's that desperate. There's
It's
so much pressure on the coaches and the players and so on.
And it's the countries, the
Oh,
country
no
count.
doubt,
They'll be
yeah.
well supported. People will be out there in their droves and that. The key to me at this stage, Budge, is going to be injuries, depth of squad. You know, you talk about Suarez, Uruguay really on
Yeah.
the back foot with him gone. Are there other clubs who are a bit limited? Maybe Italy up front?
Well, if Balotelli goes down, I know they've got a couple of youngsters. Churchy, Cassano's an old boy, and then there's Immobile, of
Yeah.
all names.
Of all names, yeah, Immobile.
But
Sounds
they've
like
got
James
young
Goodman.
forwards, Italy. You
Yeah.
know, so could you trust them in the big stage? Can they beat Holland? Can they get the semi-final, beat Argentina if they win that, play Germany or Brazil? I don't see that happening.
Who would have the youngest team? Because
The youngest team is Ghana.
is that right?
Now, they've only got one player over 30, and that's Asia. They're the youngest team. The oldest team's Argentina.
Oldest, eh?
Well, they've got Di Michaelis and
Yeah.
Maxi Rodriguez. They've got a couple of players over 30, whether they're going to play or not.
Now,
Maxi Rodriguez played.
Just talking about the Dutch side.
Yeah.
The Dutch side have players who've been there before, and you know,
No, only 7 players from the last World Cup.
only 7, eh?
Yeah.
And they starting, you know, they're all good players. I looked at the team that
Well, you
played
look
the
up
other day.
front, they've got Snyder. The front three are as
Sneijder,
good as, you know,
Robben,
Snyder, Robben, and
Van
Van Persie.
Persie, yeah.
They've got that thug in the midfield, De Jong. He
he
takes
still
no
there?
prisoners. Yeah.
Still
They've got
there.
him and the guy from Swansea, De Guzman. So,
Yeah,
but he's
that's
got to
right.
play 5-2-3.
What is the story with cards this year? Red, how many games do you get?
I think it's 2 games.
2 games. And
2 yellows is 1.
You get 2 yellows in 2 different
One
games.
game.
1 game. So, like the Gascoigne scenario
yeah.
in 1990.
And
Sure.
Ballack in 2002, yeah.
Yeah.
And the Germans got down there and they had to play in the final against Brazil without him. Yeah.
It's one of those serious tournaments where you just cannot afford to lose. Eh? Your whole country's behind you. You come home a hero, or
Well, it depends on what your aspirations are. Some of the lesser teams, if they can get to the knockout stages, are heroes. And we spoke, I know you talked about Ireland the other day.
yeah,
You know, Ireland came back after in 2002 after the Keane incident, heroes,
absolute heroes.
because no one expects anything.
Yes.
It's like if Costa Rica gets through, then they'll all get knighted. You know,
Yeah.
no one thought they'd score a goal, and they
Yeah.
beat Uruguay 3-1.
Yeah.
So a lot of different teams. Where England, for once, no one expects them to go through.
Expect us diehards.
Well, we watch them every week.
yeah, we
So
watch them
we
every
know
week.
all the players.
Yeah.
So we hope. But
We hope.
they just can't defend collectively. That's England's problem.
All right, Budge, thanks very, very much. I hope you guys found that enlightening. I certainly did. We got an idea of what's going on. You can get your bets, go down to Interbet and get your in-play betting, because that's very important. And let's hope Budge has got it right, and we'll probably be speaking to him later in the tournament. But that's this edition of Your Call.